Hello, everyone. Welcome into the live stream today of In the Field with yours truly, Earl Hall. Lovely to see you this great Monday morning. I come to you live every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm here for you, the life insurance agent that has questions, and best believe I've got answers for you. So if you're a brand new life insurance agent, or if you've been in for a while, one of the things I want you to do is go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tick the bell so that you know when we go live or when I upload a brand new video so that you can be in the know. The thing that we've been talking about, we started last week and we're going to continue on right now today, is how to do the perfect sales call. And what's going to go into that is really the setup to the call. That's what I want to get into today, the setup to the call and some things that you can actually do on the call to make the calls just go a whole lot better than what they have traditionally been going. Hey, Shanine, glad to have you in the house. Thanks for being here in the house, my sister. Look, most people that get into life insurance have never been in life insurance before, right? And so there's a lot of reasons why people get into the life insurance business. One of the biggest ones, quite honestly, is the amount of money that you can make at the same time that you're helping people. That is one of the, or if not the biggest reasons that people get it, two biggest reasons that people get into this business. But they don't come many times with the skills needed. Some do, some don't. But there's a reason why, and we discussed this last week, why 92% of life insurance agents simply fail out of the business. And I want to make sure that you don't. I want to make sure that you're in that top 8% that not just stay in the business, but you thrive in this business, that you grow in this business, that literally you do what some others have done and are doing. I want you to become wealthy in this business because the potential is there. We've talked a little bit about being in the financial services industry, which life insurance is a part of, has made more millionaires than any other industry. So you're in the right spot if you aspire to that, or if you want those goals, or if maybe you don't aspire to all of that wealth, but you at least want to live comfortably. You at least want to not have to worry about paying the bills and all those other types of things that we have to do today, especially with gas prices, with what they are right now across the country. Look, there are some particular skills that need to be acquired before we even get on the phone. There are some things that we need to, I'm just going to say, understand. Really, that's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say to be able to understand. And, while you're here with me, give me a shout out so I can give you a shout out back in chat. And then also, if you've got questions during this entire thing, make sure you ask me your questions so I can give you your answers. There's always a preparation that's involved before you pick up that phone to dial. It could be a system that you've set in place, a system that you've inherited, or a system that you want to get started with. Hey, what's up, Alonzo Hall? The All-Star Advisor. Glad to have you in here. Thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate it. If you don't have a plan, and we've all heard this before, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We've heard that. And so many times people want to wing it. And you find when you just wing it that things happen that you don't anticipate. Not even that you can anticipate everything. But when you have a set mindset, which is really key, a mindset of going into the calls, that's going to make a major difference because we know we can get beat up on the phones. Let's just be real. We can get beat up on the phones. We can get hung up on and all of that. Hey, what's up, Facebook user? Sorry, I can't see your name, but Facebook keeps that. So if you want to tell me your name, you can go ahead and do that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Just letting me know about the content there. Thanks for that. We get hung up on. We get lied to. All those things. Called everything but a child of God sometimes. But there are ways to reduce that and to mitigate those things from happening. Excuse me. One of those things is a plan. So I want to go through three things with you today. And at the end of this, if you stay to the end, what you're going to see is really how we're going to be able to put all of this into place. So hang out with me here for a moment. So the first thing that I want to let you know, look, it is 100 times more powerful to make a call to someone that knows you're going to call and why you're going to call. Rocket science, right? We know that so many times we're making calls to people that don't know we're going to call. Yes, they, you got a lead, but that lead could be minutes old. It could be years old. But even if you have your own predictable system, like we show you how to put together, and those leads come in, it might not be the right time to call that person. Just being honest. Just because you said or sent in some information saying that you wanted to put in a swimming pool in your backyard doesn't mean you want to have the pool person show up at your door in the next 5 minutes. And maybe you do. Maybe you would want that to occur, but most people wouldn't. And even if you were ready to buy and you bought because someone showed up at your house, the experience of that salesperson is not going to be like that every time. And I think sometimes just in the back of the recesses of our mind, we think that someone filled out a form or someone submitted their information and they're ready to buy. It doesn't mean that all the time. But it is important to understand that you've got to have a good phone presence, even if that occurs. But it is 100 times more powerful to make a call to someone that knows you're going to call and why you're going to call. So how does this occur? One of the ways that this can occur is if you have a very good system in place, again, that we can show you how to build. And if you want to hit the link in the description, feel free. And you can have a conversation with us about how we can help you do that. But if you have a system in place, from the time that the lead comes in, they should be getting some sort of correspondence from you. Excuse me this morning. They should be either getting a text message, they should be getting an email with the ability for them to book on your calendar so that when you call, they know you're calling because you didn't, quote unquote, not to say that you do this, you didn't pressure them to do it. They did it on their own. And this is a really good spot to be in. And it's a professional spot to be in as well. A lot of times we can make ourselves seem like just another salesperson or another saleswoman that's out here because that's what we're acting like. And it is in the way that you present yourself that makes the difference, whether you're calling them immediately or whether you're allowing them to book on your calendar. But the only way they're going to know that you're going to call, when you're going to call, and why you're going to call is if an appointment has been booked. 100 times more powerful if they do it themselves. Point number 2, when a potential client has scheduled a call with you, it always goes better. Always. It doesn't mean that you won't get stood up, but life happens to people. And I think sometimes just because someone books an appointment on your calendar, you think that it's a done deal. And just think about yourself. I can think about myself. And just recently, about 2 weeks ago, I had a doctor's appointment. But I actually called the day before and said I wouldn't be able to make it because I knew something was coming up. But sometimes things happen in the moment. Life happens. But we catch feelings behind it. We catch an attitude behind it. We think that, something isn't working because someone didn't show up to an appointment that they booked. But it happens. Should it happen all the time? I think 70% is a very good number. 70% of the people that book with you will keep that appointment. Those are the numbers that I'm accustomed to. 70% of the people that book appointments with me stay. So what does that mean for the other 30%? They weren't ready yet, or something happened. That's all it means. But let's just be honest. And you can tell me in the comments if you want to. Do you take it personal when people don't show up to your appointments? Do you take it personal? I know I used to. I used to take it very personal, especially as a life insurance agent back in the day when I used to have to drive, which I don't do anymore. And we don't teach people to just get in their car or get on an airplane because an appointment was made. We teach you how to do this over the phone. We teach you how to do it over Zoom if you want to do it over Zoom. Much more effective today. COVID has taught us a lot. Sean is saying you're preaching. I didn't think I was, but thank you for that, Sean. Definitely appreciate that. Facebook user says, yes, unfortunately, but learn how not to. Just talking about taking it personal, right? If you start taking these things personal, it's one of the things that drains your energy. It's one of the things that takes you out of the game because now that's all you're focused on is someone didn't show up. But when a potential client has scheduled a call with you, it always goes better because they know why they scheduled the call. They know what the call is about and they know what time the call is expected. That is the presentation and the type of system that you want to have in place that this occurs with most of the people or most of the leads that come in with you. That's the other thing that we can show you how to build as well, if you want to know how to do that. Now, even if a lead has not scheduled a call, having them in a follow-up sequence can encourage them reaching out to you. Just because a lead comes in doesn't mean they want you to call them right there. And I know the status quo or the prevailing thought on this is you want to call a lead within like 5 minutes of it coming in. Fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know that just because you call them doesn't mean they're going to answer. I'm not telling you to stop doing that. But what I'm telling you is to have things put in place that are on autopilot so that you have a much better chance of raising that potential client to an actual client. And when you have these certain systems set in place, it makes things mentally easier on you. It just makes things mentally easier on you to have these types of things put in place. There's a lot of other things we can actually talk about when it comes down to, okay, what you want to have in place, how to handle your mindset, how to put the systems in place so that they start working on autopilot for you. Because when you have what we call a follow-up sequence, which is emails, basically emails and or text messages that go out at a regular time interval, like once or twice a week or whatever you want to set that time interval at, because only, and I want you to hear me when I say this, only about 3% of people are ready to buy right now. That's really it. There are about 3% of people that are ready to buy right now. The other ones are going to take their time. We get impatient because we want it all to happen right now. We want to sell 8 policies a day or 20 policies a day. It's not going to happen. But what can happen is that when you have follow-up sequences in place and you're continuing to have those touch points with those potential clients, then it makes it easier for them to see who it is that you are and to reach back out to you. In a normal, let's just say 5-week follow-up sequence, you want to have in each of those emails a link in there with the ability for them to book on your calendar. Now, there's a way to do these follow-up sequences that is very vital. It's very important, and we can show you how to do. And actually, on next week, on Monday, 9 a.m., I'm going to be right here, and we've got something that is literally phenomenal for the life insurance agent that is going to be able to put you in a much better position when it comes to client outreach, when it comes to following up with your potential clients so that they actually become clients on their timetable, not always ours. You're always going to have those people that are ready to buy right now. You're always going to have those people that will book within a couple of days with you. But what about those people that don't make a decision to buy for the next 3 months? or for the next 6 months? Do you really think that you've resolved those? Do you really think they've resolved on what it is that they want to do? Some people just take longer to make a decision. Obviously, I know this can be frustrating because we want them to buy right now, and we understand and know the reasons why they need to buy right now. But we live in the real world, not our own. And what I mean by that is there are people, again, that are ready right now, but there are also people that will make that decision, but not based on pressure, not based on your timetable, but based on theirs. Life happens to all of us. How many things have you said that you wanted to do or buy, or places you wanted to go, but you still haven't yet? How many things do you need to put in place in your own life for yourself, your family, but you haven't? So what would your reasons be? You have to understand it. One, I want you to, the big takeaway, this is never personal. It is never personal. And when you take it personal, it will definitely affect your bottom line. I want you to know I have a big announcement coming up next Monday. You need to be here. This has been in the works, plans for months at this point. And if you want to get better at your sales, if you want to get better at your phone presence, if you want to get better at getting those clients over the finish line by having sequences in place, by having systems in place, next Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be here for you. And I want you to know that, look, you can't miss it. I want to thank you folks for hanging out with me today. My name is Earl Hall. You're watching In the Field with Earl Hall. You have a great week in the field, and I'll see you next week. You take care.